Hey everybody, this is Grace. In this video, I want to talk about, I'm going to talk about, the question is cussing in public, okay, around strangers or just in public, to where other people can hear, or online, to where anybody can read, is it narcissistic, a narcissistic behavior? Now, we're talking about adults in this video, and I want to get into that and question it. Now, you know, a lot of people are saying, you know, these days are going around with, you know, saying this about freedom of speech. And I have always had a question about this. I believe in freedom of speech, but there's always a but to this. You know, there are laws and rules and all that. But this part about when it becomes verbally abusive. Okay. Now, that's something to weigh there, to think about. When does it become just somebody exercising their freedom of speech, freedom of expression, to when it's abusive to somebody? It's verbally abusive. Now, I think many of us know what verbal abuse is, when it would be that, any form of abuse, really. But so that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying question it. Are the people, my experience in life has been this, seriously, that the people who speak out most about it that I know, I'm not saying everybody, I'm saying the ones I know, they wanted to feel free and not feel any kind of negative emotion, negative thought or feeling toward themselves when they call people names, when they verbally abuse somebody, okay, verbally, emotionally, whatever. They would just want to say, well, it's freedom of speech. You know, they wanted to have an excuse why they said what they said, and they don't have to feel bad about it. And, you know, not really an excuse, but just, I don't have to feel bad about it. I have freedom of speech. You see? They wanted that free pass. But that wasn't what I was going to make this video about. You know, okay, let me get to that. Now, one of the things, I made myself some notes here that I was thinking about was that, for me, I know, well, when I was growing up, of course, you know, as a child, you taught, you know, no cussing, and we couldn't even say, like, somebody's behind, you know, instead of but, we couldn't say that, any of those things, you know, and I was raised to be very polite, you know, some call it polite society, but very polite, and we didn't do things like that, we, you know, didn't cuss, and so forth. Some call it cursing, but some call it cussing. I need to look up the difference, if there is any. But, so, you know, that was always in me. And when we had respect, there is the big word, respect for, like, our parents, anybody. We didn't cuss. It wasn't part of us. But as we got older and adults and everything, we still would not do that around our parents or anybody, because it was a form of respect for other people. And, you know, I worked with a lot of kids and elderly people in my lifetime, and it just wasn't really that big of a thing for me. It was, you know, I wasn't one to do it, and now I'm not perfect in it. As I got older, yeah, my language, started using it every once in a while, and it's really something I'm trying to work on to get back to where I was before for many years. I mean, till more recent years. Frustrations, but I'm not going to make an excuse because it's wrong. In my view, it's wrong. So, for me, it's just not what I want to put out there into the world. Like, I've been doing videos on my original channel. August was 6 years, and in all this time, I have more than one channel. I think there may be a handful or two of when I've ever said a cuss word, a curse word, whatever you want to call it. Seriously, you know. And those were more like slips. Now when I was saying that, asking this is, you know, saying this, that is, you know, is it narcissistic? It's because of, like I said, to me, or I haven't said this, to me, whenever somebody does this of cussing, it kind of just takes me aback. It's kind of shocking to me that people feel so free to do so in public. Okay, yeah, okay. Okay, it's because it's like an assumption that it won't offend other people, or not caring if it does offend people. You know, some people are, it's just like I'm saying, to me it's offensive, really, to hear people, like they say, that effing this person, that effing that person, you know, or they're just total whatevers. You're using all the letter words. The letter words, yeah. And and also it's like immature to me. Now, like I said, I've done it, and you know, mainly slips, you know, which I said I'm not perfect. I'm trying to correct this in me to stop it totally. And yeah, people who actually want to work on themselves, yeah, they're not really narcissistic. And they say, I've got to work on something that could be offensive to other people. But anyway, that assumption that it won't offend anybody else, or, you know, that, now that's just too bad, they're adults, they should, you know, this kind of mentality behind it. You know, that, well, that's their problem, that's their effing problem, you know, some would say. It's immature. And my experience in life is with people who are, you know, like mainly narcissistic histrionic blend is what I've seen. Behaviors. I'm not diagnosing anybody, but those that I know, yeah, they are overall immature. You know, like they're stuck in an earlier stage in life, and some of them even more like teenager stage. You know, of rebellious behavior. But for some, now I wrote some more notes, and it says like I've seen people who do this on videos, you know, and they're doing it so they get. They will even state it. Here's the thing. They just flat out state that, you know, that that basically they don't care. They don't care what anybody thinks, and they don't care that children watch it, that it's all the parents' fault, the effing parents, as they would say, that they're not monitoring what their children are doing. Well, you know, it takes a village, but they don't think that way. They just say, that's not my problem. And they intimate that it's for views, like they get ads, money, you know, money from it. They get more views, they get more people watching, and then they are well aware that kids are watching, and you know, you can see the stats and everything. They don't care. It's all about them, and that is a behavior all about them. Selfishness, self-centeredness, all about them. Okay, but again, you know, it's really, when it comes down to, you know, sometimes it slips, sometimes it's intentional. Like I said, some people want more views, or some people want more attention. You know, they think that cussing or cursing is the way to do it. That makes them look cool. You know, like there's rebellious teenagers and all that. Still haven't grown up, you know, even though they're adults. You know, whatever the purpose is something that is very self-centered, very much about them, and they do not, like I said earlier, do not care if it offends other people. They don't care. And are they aware that it could offend other people? Yes. They're aware that cussing could be offensive to some people. You know, so what is the purpose? Why would anybody that knows, you know, that you know, like if somebody has, say somebody's in a group, okay, a Facebook group, and it's about verbal abuse, and don't they realize that that could be a trigger for somebody, because they were possibly, the letter words were at some point used against them, and yeah, so why would, you know, to me, why wouldn't they think, okay, here I am in this group that's for people who are survivors and people who are healing from verbal, emotional, whatever kind of abuse, narcissistic abuse, whatever, and I'm going to slam out their cuss words, and that would trigger them? That could trigger them? Not would, but could. They're not caring. That's my view, my opinion. There's more, but not caring is one. It's all about them. And that's, to me, is very narcissistic. I'm not, like I said, I'm not diagnosing anybody in this video or any video. So, but what about you? How do you see it? What do you think about it? Okay. Okay. Now, there's a question. Now, I have another one. I'm doing a twofer here. One thoughts that were on my mind before then. These are both today. It's Sunday, February 21st, 2021. The other one I took notes on too, and it was about, I've done videos on this before, and but this one is more of a story that happened to me, and for some reason it hit my brain this morning, and it's about when people steal your ideas, just steal your thoughts, your ideas, your whatever for their own purposes, and they have that mentality that is is another narcissistic kind of behavior trait, characteristic, is that of that the high sense of entitlement, that they're just entitled to whatever anybody puts out there in the world. They're entitled to it, to be able to use it, and they don't question it. It's just that they believe that it's there, that they can use. No big issue. And okay, let me go back to this, where the experience that I had, and I think it was back in the late 1990s, and now that's before the internet was really anything like it is now, and so it was more personal. Not really that, but anyway, it wasn't that many people. There weren't that many people on the internet back then, as you think of today, and plus back then a lot of people were very negative toward people who were. Okay, yeah. Anyway, back then I had an online, they called them online diaries, and the first one I ever went through, they changed over years, or I went through different ones when I was young, back in the 90s and I think 2000. But yeah, for a while, for years, it just changed. Some of them were websites and on and on. But there was this one that was done through email. And basically people signed up for it, and you wrote your journal article, your journal entry, your diary, whatever. And it would go to these people, okay? And you really wouldn't know these people. So, and I had joined it, and I don't think I was on it for long, but I remember there was a guy who, I was doing it and sending them out for however long it was. I don't remember. That was a long time ago. And there was a guy who sent, they could send you email back or something. And he sent me one saying that he joined my, I don't remember his wording, but he joined my mind to find information, to find topics, or I don't remember the word he used for his own articles, whatever it was he wanted to find from mine, things he could use for his own. He put it out there that he was some kind of published stuff in a newspaper, whatever it was. So he was just admitting just freely that he did that, so he could steal from me, steal my ideas, steal my concepts, steal my whatevers, steal part of my life, make it whatever he wants. Then, on top of it, he insulted me. Okay, said that my whatever I was writing wasn't good enough for him to even think to do it. Something like that. I'm like, boy, I wonder if karma ever caught up with him. Really, it was like the nerve. Now, some would just say it was a troll, something like that, and that could have been the case. But no matter, for people to think that they can say something, do the action and then insult the person that they're stealing from. God. Pardon me for laughing, but the nerve of some people, really, the nerve of some people is, like I said, a lot of these behaviors of narcissistic people, or some just say toxic people, let me see what else I wrote. But yeah, his behaviors were that narcissistic that he assumed that was okay to do, is to steal my ideas, and then assumed it's okay to just to then send me an email blasting me, okay, because it wasn't up to his standards. Well, dude, you weren't up to mine. Oh my God. Really? And some of them put that out there like you're not up to their standards, and you wouldn't want to be somebody that they would see as, you know, up to their standards. Seriously. If their goalpost, I guess, is themselves of what they want and what, well, if they're narcissistic, really, I don't want to be that. So it was not an insult to me at all. It was more of a shame on you. You are totally bleep. But okay, I'm getting silly, but yeah. Anyway, I'm glad to be outside after, you know, I'm in Texas, north of Dallas, and we had some really terrible, as many people would know, storms, winter storms, come through back to back. A lot of people are still out of, you know, don't have power, water, gas, whatever, all the above, food, a place to live, you know, a home that's not freezing or so messed up that they can't live in it. And we have problems with ours because of water main, but water pipe copper split is the way I look at it, but busting it. Water was going all over the place. Luckily, I was in the room where I could hear it. At that time, I usually would not be. And we caught it early, but it still ruined some carpets, and it's not called sheetrock. What is that stuff called? You know what I'm talking about, right? But, oh, the smell, the odor. I've done the thing of cutting up onions to get rid of that smell, or to try, but anyway. But it's just good to be out of the house and being able to get back to a little bit of normalcy, you know, a little bit of some call it normality, but get back to what's my norm. And yeah, so inside of me is, you know, I'm feeling a little cheerful, at the same time feeling a little bit of post-traumatic stress, and I think it's coming more and more a little bit, yeah, because there was a lot of things before that happened. So, but just getting out and getting a little bit back to my norm is, you know, good for me. And that's doing my videos out my SUV like this. Yeah. Okay, I think that's enough for now. I did the 2 that I had done maybe this morning. But I have a lot more. Not from this morning, but a lot more from the past. Anyway, that's enough for now. I'll talk to y'all in another video.